haven't got my microphone on. Make him a little bit wider. And come down and around his eye. So these are little house sparrows, and one of my favourite little birds, the little house sparrows. They are absolutely adorable. Oops. Hello, Akana. How are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm going to do a watercolour painting of a little group of house sparrows today. So I'm just drawing in the 3 little birds that I'm using as the studies. So I've got that one, and I'm going to pop this little one here facing him. Good, thank you. And yourself? I'm great, thank you. I'm very happy. I'm always happy when I'm creating art. And it's the weekend, so I'm even happier. It's Saturday tomorrow, so we're nearly there. And I do love weekends, even though nothing changes, it's all just the same. What about yourself? How have you been? I'll be adjusting back and forth. I've got to change the shape of their little faces occasionally. Because I see things, once I've drawn them, I see things that I need to change and alter. So this little guy's facing this way. He's also got his masky bit. That's quite dark there actually around his eye. I have a cold and my kids have it too. Oh no, that's no good, doll. That's no good. Well, I hope you get well soon, and just make sure you get lots of rest and drink lots of fluids. Lots of rest, lots of fluids, and lots of relaxing if you can. I know that's hard with kids, but that's the thing. Once one person gets it, everyone gets it, hey. So I'm going to add just some of the basic detail. I'll go over this. This will all be covered with paint anyway. So but I like to do quite a detailed drawing. So pop his little leggies. His tail's fanned out a little bit. I love painting birds. One of my favourite things to do. I have lots of favourite things actually. I do have lots of favourite things. I'm a bit of an art addict. So I'm going to draw. Then I'm going to draw a third bird. Draw his little tail coming down here, like that. Then I'll come across here and I'm going to draw the third bird. I might actually use a bird from a different picture. What else? What other birds have we got? Actually, he's a cutie. He's just having a quick look at my sparrow pictures. I got lots of sparrow pictures. So what's the one I'm using? That one. Yep, I might just pop another little one. I'll have him facing away. Have this one facing the other direction. So I like to, it creates a bit of interest when they're all looking these two are looking at each other like, oh, what are you doing here? And I'll have this one just looking away. Because he's like, oh, there's more interesting things going on over there. Other little birdies. And these guys are just the most cute, adorable little dudes. So I'll come down and around here. Oops. Down and around here. Okay, come down here. sort of comes down there like that. Pop his little wings down there. Might give him a slightly rounder body. Well, he's sort of twisted a little bit around, so his wing will go there like that. Actually, I don't like that little bird. I'm going to find another bird. I'm going to erase him with my kneadable eraser. I'm using Archer's watercolour paper. Actually, this pencil eraser is pretty good off that. I'm going to find another sparrow picture because I need another sparrow, I think. So I'm just going to Google for another sparrow, or do my unsplash sparrow picture. See if I can find another little one that's all fluffed up and looking cute. Oh, he's a cutie. Just want to get a slightly different positioned one. Oh, there we go. That'll do. That one. Let's do him. He's a little. Oop, come on, picture. Pop up. There we go. Okay. So I'll take a screenshot and I'll take that over to my other pictures. Like that. Done. Okay. Now I'll add this one in. Righto. There we go. So he'll sit here and he's sort of 3/4 looking at us. Little tubby body like that. And come around here. So they're basically just two little balls. They've got a little ball for their head and a little ball for their body, like a oval sort of for their body. And their head is about twice the length of their body. So that's how I sort of get the proportions right. I measure everything against their heads. Even in my other wildlife art, I measure animals against other parts of their own bodies. His little tail will pop around behind there. And I'll pop his little legs there. And you can see 3 of his little toesies. Like that. Don't like that beak, so I'm going to erase that beak and start again. Oops, a daisy. He's got more of a roundish head there. And come around here. They've got short little compact beaks. Got to take his little head back a bit, make him a bit broader in the head. His little eyes about there. He's got the dark patch around his eye, and he's also got coming down onto his belly quite a dark little bit there. I'm going to soften that off. He's not quite that big. He's a little bit smaller than the others. Just the teeniest little bit smaller. And I'll pop his tail actually down like that. Right. Okie doke. So these first two, I'm going to zoom in on this little guy, get some of his detail in, because it does help me to do with the drawing. So I like quite a detailed drawing. So he's got a little gap there. His feathers come around there. And they're soft sort of at the ends. And they're very browny. They've got beautiful little brown feathers on their backs. So I come around here, and then his back these feathers come, they sort of go out the back a little bit. I'm going to do one long feather there, and his tail can come down there. I'll try and zoom in on his tail a little bit. I've got probably 5 feathers, I think. I'm going to change the shape of that one a little bit. Pop his little 2 toes on. Like that. Alright, and you can't see his other chest feathers, or his other wing feathers, sorry, because he's so puffed up. Can get rid of that little line in there. I mean, it'll all be covered with paint anyway. I'll try and leave the white of the paper as the white of a little bird. And then move on to the second little bird, which is this one. Down and around there, like that. Down onto his chest. Then these feathers come around here. Whoops. Bear with me a second, guys. I'm just pulling up another little reference. All right. Oakley doke. Okie doke. So I come down here and I take these feathers along there, and then I add these feathers down on his back, because his feathers, you can see his other wing feathers coming over here. He's sort of got his little back together, like his wing feathers coming together. So I draw those sort of coming, wrapping around him pretty much. Go into the bottom there. And he's got a lot of feathers over his tail. His wing feathers sort of cross. Little tuft of feathers over there. And then 3. Do lots and lots of his top feather covers there, and then across. And I'll do his little foot, so you can just see the back of his little toe there. Alright, that's those 2 pretty much drawn in. And now get onto this third one, which is this little cutie. So he's got his brown part comes up there. I'll make that a bit wider. Just a little itty bitty bit. He's got his white bit comes around there. Erase out any excess lines that I don't want. Like that. Come down and around here. Alright. Then these feathers all overlap here. So So pop those on. Like that. Then his little legs, I've already done his little feetsies on. Pretty much. Okay. So, have a sip of my coffee and let's start mixing colours, peeps. Alrighty, I'll grab my watercolour brushes. And we're going to grab a bit of cloth. Oops, a daisy. Use a middle sized brush, I reckon. And I'm going to start with hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm live streaming.
You're live streaming?
I am.
Oh, hello stream.
On YouTube today.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So how are you?
Good.
That's good. What's up?
Oh, I was just gonna talk to you about the Blue Yeti.
Yes.
Maybe this afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you have like a black tablecloth or something like that.
I have a dark green one. If you look in the cabinet in the hall somewhere.
Wow.
So I pop this grey onto his beak. Whoops, a daisy. Oh, puppy's jumping all over my feet. Alright, so I come down and around here. And I'm just taking this is burnt umber cobalt blue, and I take that right round onto his chest and everywhere that's feathered on his chest. He's got grey in lots of bits of his body. I'll use this same colour or this same paint around about him on the other birds as well. Okay, I'm going to shut this door, guys. I'll get you, yes please. And shut the laundry door down. Okie doke. Okay. So I continue on with these feathers around his wings. Anywhere that he's going to have this grey colour, I'm going to pop this on now. Families. Okay. Righto, that'll do for there. So now I'll pop back to this little one. I'll zoom in on him. Actually, their beaks are grey. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to do that really pale though. I'm going to wet that down and make it really pale. Like that. Same on this little beak, because that will dry very pale. No, Bebe. Oh my goodness, doggies. Do you want to go out there, Bebe? Come on. Out you come. Out you go, Bebe. Come on, out you go. Out you go, Bebe. Quick, out you go. My dogs come and help me with my art stream. As you do. Oh no, I've lost my picture of my me. Oh, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, so I take this right round here and I run that around his eye and then onto his chin. Like that. Okay, I'll leave a little come round the side of the feather wings here and down onto his back, anywhere that's going to be grey. So take that down here. Onto this feather. And then come onto there. just going to go in with a light grey, and I'm just blocking it all in everywhere that it's going to be. Oops, I'll have to let Bear back in again now, because now he's... Okay. That's my little bear. He's a little Jack Russell who keeps me company while I art. Does he have grey under his tail? I don't think so. On top he does. So I'll pop a little bit of that grey onto the top. Like that. Alright. I'm going to go burnt umber cobalt blue again. Burnt umber cobalt blue. Whoops a days. Cobalt blue. And I'm going to paint this little guy's around this third little bird. Do around his eye and towards his beak. Around. Like I said, everywhere that I do grey, I'm just going to take this first coat or this first layer of this grey, and you can see that first bird's dried off now and he's quite pale, which is good, which is what I want. It's because there'll be 3 or 4 layers of colour. Okay, then pop those sort of feathers coming down onto his chest, like that. And these ones coming down onto his wings. Take that down onto his back. And pop these feathers right round. Like that. Righto. So for his branch, for the branches, I am going to now, I'm going to try and get my friend's screen cam back. I don't know what happened there. Why did my screen capture go? There it is. Done. It's back. There we go. Hang on. Whoops. I'm back. Sorry, guys. For some reason, it doesn't save on there when I, maybe I have to lock it. I don't know. It is locked. It's fine. I'll leave it like that. Okay. I don't know why that disappeared off my doodah, but it did. So, okay, that's the first layer of grey, and I'm going to wet the branch. Wet the branch underneath the birds, like that. And then I'm going to drop in yellow ochre, because I want the yellow ochre to be the colour of the branch. So go to my yellow ochre in my Schminky colours, yep. So the branch will be yellow ochre and burnt umber. So I just drop the yellow ochre in, let it run. So I've wet the branch only where I want the paint to be. Let that run around, like that. There we go. And while it's still wet, add your burnt umber. Add your touch of burnt umber. I need a picture of a branch. I haven't got a picture. Oh, bear. So while it's still wet, add the burnt umber. Like that. Alright, just to begin with. I'm going to add a little bit more burnt umber to that. Maybe a little bit of blue, a bit of indigo onto that burnt umber, just underneath the birds. And let it run just into the shadow areas. Like that. Okay. Okay, so that's quite okay for a start. So now I'm going to get into the browns, and I'm going to use transparent sienna. This is my favourite go-to colour. I love transparent sienna. It is absolutely gorgeous for all wildlife. Got to be a bit careful not to put my hand in my previous paint because I don't really want to smudge everything. So I'll just do the first layer onto his face and anywhere that's going to be the brown colour. So pop that in there. I can go over the previous layers now because they're dry. So I'm just going to go over with a light wash of this transparent sienna over the rest of his feathers, because once they're dry it's okay. It won't re-wet or lift or do any of those things. And then that top feather's light brown colour too, so I can touch that with that. Right, on to bird number 2. So it's quite quick, like they come along quite fast. So now I go on to this second bird with transparent sienna. Take that round there, and then onto these feathers. You try and leave the white of the paper as your white. So I'm just going to leave a couple little spots here and there for the white, because he does have a little bit of white on his wings. I can always, if I mess up a bit, I can always go back with a touch of acrylic paint or a little bit of gouache just to re-get those highlights back. If you do make a mistake and touch over where you don't need to, or you don't want to, it's absolutely fine. It's all fixable. So now to come down onto his tail, look all of this in, because they've got brown on the top. They're light on the bottom and brown on the top. They're tail feathers. These little house sparrows. So I'll lift up the excess paint like that. Now I go onto this third little bird and do his first layer. Transparent sienna. Take that around. The shape of his head. And onto his wings. And the darker the layers I'll add later. So take that right over. I can only just see the edge of that on his. Might pop a little bit brown there. Rightio. So they look pretty cute. I'm pretty happy with those thus far. Got to get the bit of dust off my paper that came off my eraser. Have another sip of my coffee. Okay, let's have a look. So I'm going to go Payne's Grey in his little eyes. Just going to get pure Payne's Grey. I love Payne's Grey too. It's a handy colour to have. And I'm going to do that just into the pupil. Right, I've got to go as pure a pigment, as thick a pigment as I can. Let a little water, lots of pigment to make it a strong colour, because I want that to be very strong. Hello, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. 'Tis good fun. Lots of good fun. I love painting birds. How's your day been? So pop their little pupils in. There we go. And that little bird's going to have a white beak or cream beak. I actually think the little females have the creamy coloured beaks and the little males have the darker beaks. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how that works. Put that there like that. And then I'm going to mix up a slightly stronger brown. So I'm going to go burnt umber, touch of burnt umber with my transparent sienna. Touch of burnt umber with my transparent sienna, and just makes that slightly little bit darker. And start to build up the layers of his feathers where they're darker around his face and on his wings. Oops. Then I'll do the background after, because I'll do the background in a green, I think. Come around here with that nape of his neck is a bit brown too. And then I'll take that onto his wings. So he's going to be darker there. And do it in patterns, the feather patterns, sort of a little bit soft, a little bit jaggedy. And then, where's the other picture? I've got another one here somewhere. There he is. So, just follow the direction of the feathers, like that. And then these longer feathers down the bottom, because you'll have a little bit of really dark trim, which I'll pop on towards the end. Alright, I can strengthen up that colour there. And a little bit on that side of his tail, I think. Okay, now onto the second bird. So that was a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of transparent sienna. It's beautiful brown. Go on to bird number 2. Take that right around here. And onto the nape of his neck. All right. And around there, onto his wings, following the shape of his wings. Yeah, and I think I've lost a couple of highlights there, but I can take them back with the a little bit of touch of acrylic or a touch of gouache after, because gouache is like a watercolour and acrylic is a water-based, you know, acrylic paint, but I don't mind using the white in that. Hello my fan, how are you? Thank you so much, thank you so much. How's your day? Geez, good fun. I'm enjoying doing these little birds. I absolutely adore painting birds. Thank you so much. Come down here. And I've just realised your name's Miffany. I have a friend called Miffany. We call her Miff. Alright, so pop this down onto anywhere it's going to be brown. Oh, see they're very dark around the edges of their tail feathers. Miv and Wee. Oh, okay, cool. My Van Wee. It's a beautiful name. And then I pop onto the third bird. It's Welsh. Oh, wow. Actually, I think you're one of the first Welsh people I've met on stream. So welcome. Hello, Elja. How are you? 3 birds. I like it. Yes, I love doing groups. I like to do groups of little things. When I do birds or like deer, I love to do little herds of animals, little groups. I just think it makes the painting, it just looks less static. Just gives it a bit more life if you've got groupings of things. So then I've got to do these feathers around here. And then, yeah, down there. Can't see his other wing. I am going to do a little bit of a doodah on that side though. Oakley doke. So now I've got to mix up a grey, a bluish grey. So I'm going to go burnt umber cobalt blue, just very, very diluted. So I did acrylics the other day and it's exactly the same colours to mix. So cobalt blue, touch of burnt umber, just a touch of burnt umber. The problem is I don't have any white. With watercolour, you don't have any white to tame it down. Hello, how are you? Welcome back, Ilja. So, and that's the same grey that I used on his little, on their little faces. I've actually got to darken that off. It's got a little bit more grey around his tum. Around there. So how's your day been, Elja? And come under here. Wonderful mummy draw. Thank you. Thank you. I love drawing. I do love drawing. Drawing's my favourite thing to do. Especially birds, because birds are so cute. I quite often would go to, you know, if I go to cafes and stuff, I'll sit there with my notebook and sketch the little birds that come around the table and sit around, and they're just gorgeous. Especially these little guys, because they're so sweet. So I'm just leaving little gaps for the feathers, the little tussocky tummies, little fuzzy wuzzy tummies. I can't see under his tail. What kind of birds are they? These are house sparrows, little house sparrows. We get lots of them around here. And they are very cute. Just got to go a slightly stronger grey. Yeah, they're very common down here. Get lots of sparrows and lots of finches. And I love me finches too. I love canaries and all kinds of finches. We get lots of wild birds here, as I live on a farm in Australia. So very lucky. So I've got access to lots and lots of little birds. And lots of big birds too. I've got all the parrots and cockatoos and galahs and finches and budgies and all kinds living on the farm. So I'm just strengthening up, because it is almost black along here under his little chin and onto his chest. And then leave little gaps again, because he's got like a little collar. It's really cute. So try and keep the pattern like that. Down onto his chest. Alright, I'll do his little feet in a minute. And I've got to add a little, maybe a little bit of blue, I think. A tiny little bit of blue to their cheeks on their face, because they're white, but they do have a little bit of shadowy bits about here. Once I add the background, they'll pop. I'll add a blue, like a blue or a green background. I haven't decided yet. Have not quite decided. But I'm going to add, I'm going to go onto this second bird, let that one dry for a little while. Go onto this little guy and add the grey, the dark grey. See you later, Elja. Have a great day. Thank you for popping in. Take that around his face and under his eye. See you later. Thank you. Okay, pop that down and around there. Now, where else has he got? He's got it coming under his chest too, but you can't see. You can only see a little bit of his bit going there. Down onto his chest. I'll add a couple more just for fun, just because I can. And then they've actually got, he does have darker onto there, but I'll add them towards the end. I've Got to add the line on into his beak. Now that's dry. Like that. Add the line into his beak, because they've got little rounded sort of beaks. Like that. And he's got dark underneath. Alright. Now onto bird number 3. While that one dries, I'll go onto their wings and do wing stuff in a minute. But right now, they're very sweet. Thank you. They're gorgeous little things. They are the tiniest, cutest little things. And when I go to cafes or go outside or whatever, they just flit around all around you. They're brave, you know. They're the size of your thumb. And they're so brave, they come right up to you. Just anything for a little bit of chippy or a little bit of bread. They'll come right up to your table. I put seed out all around the house and got little hanging uppy seedy things, so they can, all the wild birds can come in and get seed and eat around the house. Little bird baths, and love them, love them. Even while I'm painting in my mind, I'm visualising them bouncing around all over the place, being little cuties. Alright. Got to add a little bit of brown, but I'm going to go back into my transparent sienna for the brown around there, the iris. I want to do the iris brown, because the irises are brown. Probably a little bit paler than that, but that's fine. Just add a touch of water to it. There we go, because that's dry, it's not a problem. I'll pop some white back on there because I've lost the highlights because their eyes are so little, but I can add that in with a bit of pen. I've got a little white pen that I can use to add that highlight back. Now I'm going to go back into the light grey. Yeah, I'm using Silverback Black Velvet brushes and Sennelier and Schminky paint. They're my favourites. Little grey dude, so I'm going to pop his little grey head on. Have a sip of my coffee before it goes too cold. Yummy in my tummy. And then go back into the diluted grey and onto this first little bird. And pop his grey coming down and around onto his little back. So you're an artist, Miff. I'll call you Miff because I'm scared I'm going to pronounce it very wrong. Mivon, hang on, I can't see the spelling of where it was. I need to go back up the chat and find the spelling. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Lost it. I'll call you Miff. But, uh-oh, forgot what I was saying. Squirrel moment. Yes, I'll come down and around here. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Do you paint? You're an artist. And do you stream? Do you YouTube? Because I love meeting new artists. Alrighty, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. And then I'm going to go around, I'm going to start on the background. This is going to be a nightmare. I've got to try and get it done as quick as I can. So I'm going to wet the bottom. I'm going to do the bottom and then the top. So I'm going to start on the bottom because it's the easiest. Because why not? And I'm going to add a green. I don't know which green, but I'm going green. Go right up to the edge of the tape. Yeah, in Ireland. Oh wow, cool. Cool, cool. Very good. Gorgeous part of the world. I've never been there, but one of the few places on earth that I would like to go is Ireland and Wales, actually. One day. One day. Gorgeous part of the world. So I'm going to say I've wet the paper And now I'm dropping the green in, and I'll just take that right round. Try and keep it while it's wet. I've got to get it on the paper quick while the paper is still wet, so it'll flow. It's not really flowing. It's arches paper, but it's really weird. It's not flowing. Usually it runs down the page, and I've got a tilt on my palette, on my easel. So it's, there we go, it's starting to run now. Maybe I didn't have the water wet enough, the paper wet enough. All right. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to wet, the top will be, the bottom, that'll be dry by the time I've done this top bit. So I'll do the top, get my brush and wet everywhere that I want paint. Go around the birds, cut round them. I need a bigger brush. I should be using a bigger brush for this, but it doesn't matter. It's the one I've got in my hand. So everywhere that I want to put paint, I'm going to add water. I've got a little blob on my bird, but it doesn't matter. So take that right round there. Oopsie-days. And then we have to be careful with this second sparrow because I've got a bit of water onto his face. I've got that incredibly wet, so that's good. That should stay wet for a little bit. And are you a watercolourist? Oopsie-days. And that's going to now honeycomb. Oops, got a bit too much water. Pick up the bead. Probably should have done the background first, hey? Oh well. What do? You live and learn. I can go over it again anyway. Go get a bit more green pigment and drop that in the top. And let it flow. Come on, flow paint. Drop it in, move it around a bit. Sometimes, cool, very good. Yeah, I do everything. I do watercolour, I do acrylic, I do drawing, I do digital art. I do the lot. Love all kinds of mediums. But my favourite is drawing. Like my absolute favourite is pen and ink. Absolute favourite. Digital's becoming my favourite because drawing on the iPad is exactly like drawing on a piece of paper. But you can add colour so much easier. It's awesome. So I might do a few, in the future, do a few digital tutorials as well. Oops, see that's dried already. It looks a bit yucky, but I'll tidy that up after. I can go, when that's dry, I'm going to go back around and add a darker green, re-wet it all, and go a bit stronger in colour around these little guys. Your favourite is charcoal? Oh, I love charcoal. Oh my goodness. Yes. Go team. Love it. Love it, love it. I have an Instagram. It's the same name, Jen's Wild About Art. And if you go through that, you'll see my charcoal work that I've done early on. So I'm going back in quickly with really dark green. But yeah, love charcoal. Ooh, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. So I'm just gonna do this dark. This is the same pigment, just less water. Directly. See how granulating it is? It's really weird. This is quite a granulating green. Gotta be a bit careful. I don't want that to go onto that log. Ooh, I've got to pick up the excess. And come back around here. Onto my little bird. While the paper's still damp. Oops. Oh, it's travelling. Shouldn't have, but it is. If I can pick that up with a bit of my toweling. Alright. It's one thing with watercolour, if you do it wrong, it does its own thing and it goes rogue. Goes completely rogue. But I've got to have faith it'll be okay. It'll be okay. This will work. I think I've added a little bit too much water, but that's okay. it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Oops, that is not the right broom. That one. There we go. Just going to touch that log carefully. Try and get that water, that excess bit on the edge, up. Absorb that back up the brush like that. Absorb that back up the brush. So if you take the moisture out of your brush. Hello! Jen, my love, I'm now in your YouTube chat. Thank you, Alice. How are you? Oh, come around here. Oh gosh, I nearly threw my brush away. Around under there. So I'm just adding darker green just directly around the birds. Tired as usual. Oh no. No good. And then come on to, oops, pick up the excess water. Oh, all my dingers are donging. Okay, got to quickly pick that up. I can go over that bit again. It's not the end of the world. I'm just going to drag the edges of this out. And I've got to try. That's nearly dry, but I can probably get away with it. Ooh, famous last words. Famous last words. Get this paint on this side. You're quite chill today. I was expecting you to scream when I came in. Is this a leashie? I prepared my ears and everything. Oh my god, hang on. I've got another friend who whenever he comes into stream, I'm like, oh my god, it's Alice! Is this that? Oh, Alice! I didn't know you had a real name, you see. Look at my name, Jen. I know, but Alice. I know, but Campbell. It's like you don't have a last name. Your name's just Alice. Oh my god. There you go. What's up, dude? Oh my gosh. There you go. That's what's happened. I had a Jenny moment. I'm like, no, you're Alicia. You don't have a last name and you're Alicia. All right. Good job. Thank you. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. So what are you up to? What have you been doing? Oh, this stream was, Alice streams on Twitch, and I was watching his stream this morning playing, oh my god, it's the pirate ship one. Oh my god, I'm having a moment. So funny. Such a funny game. Because I love watching games as well. I play games over on Twitch, but... So pop this green down here, down and around. Sea of Thieves, that's the one. Sea of Thieves. Oh, it's a funny game. I didn't know Captain Jack Sparrow was in it though. Alright, so I take this green down and around. All underneath the birds. I'm going to have to do another layer. Good night, Jen. It's 2 AM here in Ireland. We'll check tomorrow. Thank you, Miff. You have an awesome night. Sleep well, and thank you for popping in. Sleep well, Miff. And thank you so much for being here. It is awesome to have you here. Love meeting other artists. Oops. I'm going to have to take this all the way up. I'm going to have to re-wet up there. I'm hoping this works. I'm taking a chance on this working. I'm just going to have to re-wet because it's dried. I've got to re-wet up here and try and get it onto there. Sort of blend it. Try and blend it. We'll see if this works. This could go horribly wrong, but we'll see. I'm hoping this works. This may not work, guys, but I'm hoping. Worst scenario, I can always chop off the edges. It may not work. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to blob and soften. because I've had a couple of little, I wouldn't say happy accidents. Made a little bit of a mess here, but that's okay. I can just soften those edges. I'll let it dry and I'll go over it again. I'll let that dry and I'll go over it again. Righto. So grab another bit of cloth, because you can always add layers. I've just got to let that dry thoroughly now, because I didn't get the paint on the paper in time. So I'll just do it in one big whack next time. We'll see how we go. Right, so next onto me little birdies. You can see how that sort of honeycombed a bit there. Just tidy that up. Right, so dark, go dark grey, burnt umber cobalt blue, and get onto these wings. So he's got quite dark on this part of his wing. Whoops. Quite dark on that part of his wing. Then across here. A lot of these feathers have little black tips on them, or little dark chocolatey brown tips on them. So I'll add a few of those in. Oops. There we go. Hopefully there's no confusion in the future. Awesome! There you go. You're funny. So what have you got on for the rest of the evening, Mr. Ellis? Made a mess there. That'll dry. No need to panic, it'll dry and it's all fixable. Worst scenario, you start again. Absolute worst scenario, you get to start again. So think about doing it live, you get all the accidents and everything. Some happy, some not so happy accidents. But that's okay. Okay. So pop these little darker bits on the feathers of these guys around the wings. Because he does have, this one has quite dark around there. Get a bit more grey. A bit more grey mixed up. There we go. Nice. Then come down onto here. It updated, that came out on the 22nd. Oh, cool. Yeah, it was funny. I totally did not expect Captain Barbosa and that to be in that game. Very cool though. Come down and around. Alright, let's have a quick look. Big screen, looks okay. That background looks a mess, but we'll fix that. Got to take the good with the bad, sometimes it goes wrong. Alright. And this little guy, he's got his darker feathers down here. Like that. Alright, now let's have a look at the tail feathers. So the tail feathers on this guy, I'm just going to shut my door because I've got a washing machine being very loud in the background. I'm just going to add this grey onto the tail here. And then how does that one go? He's got the grey on the edges. There, like that. Down there. Like that. You can just see underneath the greys on his bottom of his feathers there. So I'll pop that on and I'll just blend that up. So I'll just wet my brush and drag that grey up a little bit like that. How's your day been? Crazy. I got up, I did my housework. The kids have just come over because they get married tomorrow. So I thought I'd get me last stream in until next week. So it's been crazy, but good. Good. Trying to keep myself calm. But yeah, good. I have no idea what the rest of the day is going to hold, but we shall see. So I've got to get a little skin tone on his, I've got to fix this background. I need it to really dry thoroughly though. Not quite dry enough yet. So I'm going to go onto this little bird and make burnt umber, cobalt blue, greyish mix. And add onto the feathers on his little chest. I'm going to start to darken up some of these areas and pop a little bit of blue on there as well, I reckon. Just under here. I'll pop a bit of blue onto the bellies. Really not happy with that background, but I'll think of something. How am I going to do this? Do I start again? That's alright, I can salvage it. Do I want to salvage it? Is the question. Let's go right in to these edges. This is art though, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes you make mistakes. Tidy up around these little birdies. I reckon if I'm very careful, I'm just going to cut around this little bird's head to the shape of his head because I've lost a bit of the shape of his head. I'm going to drag that out a little bit. I've got to be careful and let that dry. It's very dry around his little body, but I'm going to cut right in like this and very gently fill in this background. I tried to do it wet and it went horribly wrong, so this is how I'm going to try and salvage it. We'll see how this goes, hey? I'm just going to literally very carefully go around everywhere that I've been. Not too wet a mix. Take it up and around here. Strengthen that background. I'll trim this off a bit, I reckon. If this doesn't work, I'll just start again. Just saying. We'll see how we go. So, well, this is a tutorial in how to save a painting when you mess up the background, hey? So cut right in close to the bird's body. I want to keep the shape clean, like that. Got to keep moving, keep the paint moving. And I'm just using a solid colour, I'm not mixing it, it's just a straight, I can't remember what green it is, I'll tell you in just a second. Take it right round. Down the back. Oops, a bit more paint. Be a bit careful, add a bit more, tiny bit more water. So try and keep the consistency the same, because if you add more water, it'll do that cauliflower thing that I've got over here. But because I'm going a fraction darker, I'll be able to cover that cauliflower with a bit of luck. Because I'm going stronger pigment. Just got to concentrate for a little bit to try and get it all on. Oops. And then come around under his tail. All right. More of that green. And this will dry back fractionally. Ooh, that's a bit too strong. Fractionally lighter. Cut gently around his little head. Trying to keep my hands steady. Alright, and I can get that back to white with, I'll use a bit of ink to tidy up that bit that I've gone onto the grey. I would have left the background plain, but they really did need a bit of colour there, so pop that on and around. Whoops, days. You never know, it might work out in the end, we'll see. So I come over there, take this green down right in close to his little body, against that log. I'll salvage that log by putting shadows there anyway, because there are going to be shadows there, so that worked out okay. Bit more green. Come around here. Oops. Take it right up to the edge. All right. Down and around. I'm going to trim the picture into a long narrow one. I reckon that's how I'll salvage it. I'll trim him. Tiny touch more water into there. Cut into the edges of his little feathers. Go. All right, yep, that's okay. That's okay. Got to be careful not to go back into my old paint, because it will, not too much anyway, because it will react with the other paint. All right, I'll do a bit underneath. We've cut in around the shapes of the feathers a little bit. Don't want it to be hard lines. I mean, I've got hard lines now anyway, but I want his little feathers to be bejaggedy on his tum. And I'm going to cut around the bottom of him. Work my way around here. Like that, and I'll come down a bit lower. And I'll trim him into a narrow picture. Okay. Oops. For every three that work, one fails. Had a pretty good run, I have to say. But we'll see, we never know. Stranger things have happened, it might turn out. So I'm just going to keep going around, working my way around these little birds with the same colour. Maybe I could make a design choice. You never know. Cut around the tail feathers. Like that. Over here, darken this bit up. Take it right up to the edge. Right up to the edge. Like that. And I'll do the top again as well. We'll do the top to the edge. Like that. Oops. It'd be fun if I could tape it actually. If I could re-tape it carefully. I don't think it's possible because I'll probably damage the paper now. If I could re-tape, take that branch right to the edge. There we go. Straighten up this line. It's a bit bejaggedy. All right. See if I can do that. Straighten that up. Go to the top one. Straighten that up. Got a bit more pigment maybe. See how that works when it dries. So leave that alone. Leave it alone, let it dry. That's the plan. We'll do that and hope that sorts itself out, because that top left might go a bit mad. But we'll see. Get back onto me little birdies. Just going to dry my brush and see if I can soften that a bit. When I pull this tape off, it'll leave a nice sharp edge on the sides here. Clean the moisture off my brush, soften that edge. Oops. There we go. Just going to soften that little bit. Hopefully that'll dry. There we go. You shouldn't actually go back into, once you've put the watercolour down, you should leave it alone. But because I've had a bit of an issue here, so I'm just trying to tidy up those edges. No, that's not terribly bad. Not ideal, but not terribly bad. Okay, it's got to tidy. I've just got to add a little bit more here. A bit more green. Whoops. Into this bit. Okay, now we'll leave that alone and let that settle. Let that settle down and get back onto these little birdies. So let's have a look at these little guys, because the bottom's just about dry now. It dries quite fast. So he's got, I'm going to add a bit of a grey, but I'm going to make it with a blue. So blue and brown. Oops. And I've also got to get what are we doing? Let's have a look. I'm going to go a bit more transparent sienna, actually. A bit more transparent sienna onto his face, onto their faces. I've got to strengthen up their facey feathers. Just to come around here, strengthen up these colours. Just around there. They've got grey on the tops of their heads. I'll leave a little touch behind his neck. Add this brown onto the tops of his feathers, like that. That'll dry back a bit paler. Start around there. Add a bit of the lighter brown onto the top of the tail. I'm going to sit back and have a bit of a look at it. Sort of decide. Yeah, you know what? I might have to start this again. Don't know. Alright. So I'll just keep going, keep persevering for a little bit. We'll see how we go. I'll add this transparent sienna down the wings to strengthen up this wing colour. Hello Lydia, how are you? Oh, I'm glad you could make it. I've just had a bit of an altercation with my background. Had a little bit of an issue with my background. I'm just deciding whether to start again. Don't know. I'm undecided. I mean, I could do a drawing in about another 5. I could do another drawing of these guys in about 5 minutes flat. So I might do that. You know, I'm not real happy with this picture, so I'm going to do it again. How do you guys feel about that? Do you mind if I start again? It's just irritating me now. So I'm going to crack the poopos. And you get to watch the process all over again because I'm really not liking the background. So I'm going to whip that off like that, and I'm going to stick another. I'm going to do it again. It'll only take me 5 minutes to draw a background. That shows you that sometimes you can have a fail. I've had a fail today. That is not a good picture. So let's get into it. Swap again. So I'm going to pop your picture here. Get my other bit of paper. Luckily, I had another piece of paper prepared, as you do. And I'm not going to do a background this time because that way I won't mess it up. Let's do that. Okay, so stick that there. Make sure it's central. And I'm going to very quickly draw these 3 little birds again. So you get to see the whole process. I'll leave that one there so you can see it. And it's like, whoops. But oh well. That's what happens when you're live. Mistakes happen, hey? So I'm going to do this. Stick me doodah down there. And how's your day been anyway, Lydia? How have you been? Whoop, do that. Yeah, because I'm not happy with that one. It's a bit yucky. So grab your pencil and away we go. Oh, is that a pencil? Oh yeah, we're good. It's got lead in it. And I'll actually use the same picture as reference. So, and I'm very fast at drawing, so it should be reasonably quick. So draw his little fat body. These guys have got little fat bod-bods. They're cute. They're so gorgeous. Come down here. Oops. His little beak comes down there. They've got little rounded beaks like that. Where's my... Oops. Okay. I'm doing well. I got to play Minecraft with some of my friends and finish the banner for my robotics team website. Awesome! Very good. Very, very good. We've had a good constructive day then. Just bear with me a sec. I've just got to go turn off the washing machine. It's unbalanced. Hang on just a sec. Oh, gotta open my door. There we go. And I'm back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So I'll draw this little guy in. He's sort of facing away from us. His little wings come around here like that. I've drawn these guys so much that I'm so used to the shape of them. They're quite quick and easy to draw. I won't even worry about a background with these. I'm just going to, because I did the background on the first one and I made a mess. So, so we're not doing that again. We're just going to go with a simple 3 little birds. So he's just, and their head is like twice the length of their body. So their head, and then 2 times as their body. And I've sort of got so used to drawing these little guys that I can do it by eye now, because I do draw them a lot. So he's got, make him a little plumper maybe. He probably needs to be a bit plumper, this one, actually, now that I've said that. Where's the eraser? I need to make him a little bit plumper. A little bit more plump. It's probably better grammar. A little bit more plump. So drop his little head down a fraction. And then make him a little plump. And I might sit him next to that one so he's sort of touching that one, because that creates a nice little bit of composition when they're touching, sort of. It's nice to have them together. All right. There we go. So I'll pop his little wings come down here, actually, like that. Okay. There we go. And I'll have his branch, the branch coming up there. Right, so start to get the details on these little guys. I do like a bit of a detailed drawing. His eyes in there. Come around there. Aren't they the most amazing birds? Oh, they are gorgeous little things. They are absolutely adorable. You know, and the sparrows are my favourites. Oh my goodness. Well, sparrows, finches, wrens. I just love them. The little tiny birds are just adorable. And these guys are so brave. Like, they come right up to you and and sort of flit around your feet when you're drinking your coffee, and you know, they're so tiny and they're so brave because they come so close up to you. I absolutely adore them. Always have since I was a little kid. I've just loved sparrows and finches. Okay, I'll draw his little claws in. Actually, I'm happier with this little composition anyway. Everything happens for a reason. So the first painting I ruined, so now we're working on the second one for the morning, as you do. But yeah, I'll alter him a little bit. I won't do a background, which I had planned to do, but so they've got their little brown crests that come around there like that. And he's got his little back to us. Yeah, they are adorable. They are adorable. So draw his feathers come up like that. And they sort of cross and join at the back there like that. Actually, I've stuck that in the wrong spot, so we'll just change that a little bit. Bring it around here. Like that. There we go. That's a bit betterer. That's a bit more betterer. Bad grammar. Whoops, my camera dropped out. It'll be back in a second, guys. It does that with the internet. Yay, rain. Hang on. Come back, camera. There we go. Sorry about that. Internet connections and bad weather. Weirdly, it only does it with my webcam thing. Okay, because I use my mobile phone as my webcam, so if the reception drops out, it's a pain. All right, so then they've got their little tails. Actually, they're not that way, they're reversed, they're like that. And you can only see the edge of that one's tail, so I'll pop that down there like that. He's a little foofy. He's foofed up his feathers, that one. He's gone a little bit foofy. And he's fluffy. He has. He's fluffed himself up. And this guy, sitting over here, all proud of himself, and got his little chesty feathers. You can see them quite nicely. I'll pop his little eyes in. Oops, like that. And he's got his browny bits come up there, then come down and around. Like that. Let me go here. So what's everyone up to for their weekend? Because it's Friday here. Friday lunchtime-ish. It is. Okay, not going to take his... I actually like this drawing better than the first one. Well, so everything happens for a reason, guys. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you've got to go with your instincts. And if you think, should I start again? Am I happy with that? Sometimes starting again is good. There comes a point where you've got to go, do I persevere with the old piece or do I start a new one? And I'm actually really glad that I started a new one, because this is the old one. Yeah, it failed. It's a bit lumpy looking. So we're not going to do the same mistakes on this piece. We're going to be a bit more careful. No backgrounds. I got robotics and prepped to go north to Dakota because I'm leaving this. Oh, wow. Cool. Cool. That's exciting. I'm going to try and leave the paper, the white of the paper. There we go. Right, I'm going to get into it again. We're off again. North Dakota, wow. But that's like American Outback, yeah? Like it's country. Sounds amazing. So I'm going to work on the browns around their eyes because they've got little brown masks. Go up to their beaks. I only don't know of North Dakota because of Western movies. Good old country and westerns. All right. So pop that little bit of brown on there, and I can also pop, this is transparent sienna, and I'll pop it on the wings as well. I'm going to be a bit softer. I'm not going to be so heavy-handed this time. So I've learnt from my mistake from the last painting. Be a bit softer, a bit more impressionist technique. So that's good. It shows you different ways how to do it, how not to do it. I've done both today. Fair enough. My mum's side of the family lives up there, so we're going to visit her mum. Oh, cool. Lovely. Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah, I'm not very well travelled. I mean, I'm in Australia and I haven't been. I've been to New Zealand and I've been to Tasmania, but I've not been to the other side of the planet. So I've only been Southern Hemisphere. But one day I would like to travel. One day. So I'm just going to fill in these whole wings. I can add little highlights back with gouache. I'm going to keep it light, keep it soft, keep it light. Like that. So very thin layers. Now, you've got brown around here. Doesn't quite touch the other brown. It's easy to travel in the US considering we've got so much space. Yeah. Yeah, and you border other places, and because Australia's just Australia, we don't border anything. We're just an island on our own in the middle of an ocean. So I'm going to make up a grey, very pale grey for the beaks now. So cobalt blue, again, burnt umber, very pale wash. That'll dry really pale. Oops, Daisy, got to pick up, clean my brush, take the excess moisture out of it. Like that. Same with this little guy. Do his little beak. There you go. I don't want to re-go over those too many times because they can look really heavy and chunky. So I'll add a little bit of yellow ochre when that's dry as well. Okay, that's that. Now I've got to add a little bit of pale grey, that same pale grey actually, maybe a little blue in it, and pop a little bit more blue in it, because their feathers on their heads are quite a blue grey, a little soft blue grey. So, oops, so I've just added a touch more blue to that grey. I'll take that around. I can fuzzy up the edges of his little feathers like that. Grab my little, take the excess moisture out of my brush. So put that on the top of these other two little birds as well, like that. And same on this one. Okay, cool bananas. I'm happy with that. Now, they've actually got, I've made a mistake. No, I haven't made a mistake. It doesn't matter because I can go over it with the grey. They've got a dark grey mask. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of Payne's grey. I'll do it on this one. Oh, which one's drier? I'll start at the bottom of the beak on this one. Actually, I will. And go down in the direction of the feathers on his little chest. Then they go sort of sideways a little bit, and I'll try and leave some of the white of the paper. I'll follow that right round like that. Just do the first wash really light. I'll add a little bit more detail in a mini as I get round, because they do have little white fuzzy bits around the edges. Right, like that. That's that little one. Just got to wait for the masks to dry, where I've put the brown, or I shouldn't have, because I'm smart like that. His little bit of grey to his wings there, like that. Righto, and then on this one, same. Come around, I can actually go around the front of his little face. He's quite dry there now. I think. Leave a little gap around his eye of white. Probably that's the white, is the white of the paper. Hopefully I can keep that. Come back around here. And down. Alrighty, we're getting there. We're back on track, peeps. We're back on track. So, let's do the pattern of his little chesty feathers. Like that. Actually, it comes down a little bit like that, and I'm actually going to do that on that one too. Like that, and then wet me brush. Wet my brush, and I'm going to go in with almost pure Payne's grey pigment onto their pupils, trying to leave the tiniest little dot of white. Hey Lydia, how are you again? Oops. I just saw the hey, and I'm like, oh hey! Come around here. Do do their little pupils. There we go. Ta-da! And they're looking like birds. I've managed to catch up in about, what was that, about 5 minutes? Okay, I've got to go back onto the first little birdie. Where's his little face? There. And pop this dark grey in. I can go over that Payne's grey. Transparent sienna rather. Go over the transparent sienna. The one in the middle is my favourite so far. Yeah, he's a little cutie, isn't he? He's got his little back to us. I'm glad I chose to start again. But yeah, these birds are so fun, and they're really quite simple. Like, they're only, they're quite simple colours. They're greys and browns. There's nothing really complex about them. They're feathers. You can just create effects. You don't have to fuss with the feather detail. You can get all the, it's a fun with watercolour too. You can be a little bit impressionisty. But yeah, the middle one's a cutie muffin. Once I get his little mask on. He's got his, they're like little Zorros. Little Zorros with their little masks. And that comes right round his beak. Onto his little chest. Like that. Then onto third bird. Little third dude. I can darken that up a little bit more. Like that. Ooh, I've got to try and leave that white around the edge. There we go. Okie doke. Now, I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Wackadoo. I've got to do his little tail. So he's actually got transparent sienna on the top of his tail. This one, I forgot this bit. So I'll stick that on there. I shall stick that on there. Bit of transparent sienna on the top of his taily bit. And then down the side there. And then these ones go down, just in the directions of the feathers. And I can erase the pencil marks. Afterwards. And you can only just see the edge of this one. There we go. Right. Oh no. Now they're happening again. So I'm going to work on the branch underneath them now. So I'm going to wet it, clean my brush. I drag the wet brush underneath the birds so that then the log or the stick is wet. And then I grab my yellow ochre, because Australian branches are yellow ochre and a little bit of burnt umber, and drop the yellow ochre in, quite a lot of pigment, like that, and let it run. And that'll create a wood texture for me. I can go over the little feet because the little feet are darker anyway, so that's fine. Alright, just clean my brush, take the excess moisture out of it and pick up the pigment. I'm always super heavy handed on my pencil marks, so they're nearly impossible to erase. Yeah, me too, but that's because we love drawing, doll. I'm heavy handed. Even that, like, you look at that, I'm probably not going to be able to erase all of it, but the little bit around the edge of the tail I reckon I'll be able to do. I'm the same. I am so the same. And I love line work. I like to see the line work too, because it shows, your drawing process to me. I quite enjoy that. You can see the process. And I love, like, how that people do the impressionist sketches, like they're quick movement sketches, like really quick movement studies. I love those. So you can, where they've got the feathers not quite finished, but they're fluttering, and they're sort of half turning, but they've got a few little lines that are not quite finished. I love that. I love seeing that. I just love drawing. I love all things drawing. So I'm making up a dark grey, burnt umber cobalt blue for the bottom of this branch. While it's still wet, drop it in. Yeah, the more sketchy watercolours are my favourite. Yes, I agree. I can't do, I mean, I can do photographic digital. But I watercolour, I just can't seem to, I can't, you know how some people can do photographic with watercolour? I can't do it. I am very definitely impressionist. I've tried. But I love the sketchy ones and the soft ones. Watercolour's meant to be soft. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. I'll add shadows under the birds when that's dry. Okay, so now, what am I doing now? I am going to make a light grey, or am I? I am. I'm going to make a blue grey. That's what I'm doing. I'm making a blue grey now for their bellies. So I'm going to go into my cobalt blue and I'm going to get the teeniest touch of burnt umber just to grey it off. Teeniest touch. I don't want it to be a dark grey, and I'm going to dilute the poops out of it so that it's very watery. And I'm going to add this onto their little bellies. Not all of it, but oh, so that's still too dark. I need a bit more blue. Poop. Okay, get my brush while it's still wet and lift that off. It's the beauty of watercolour. I can lift it. Whoops. I mean, I'll wet all around there now because I'll actually drop the blue in. I think now that I've decided that. Get me clean water. It's probably a good idea. Run that around. Doesn't matter. It's going to be grey anyway. It's going to be a blue grey. Leave a little gap between those feathers and drop. That's incredibly pale, but I actually don't mind it. Okay, so grab me blue. Just touch a touch. Around the textures on the feathers. Very, very lightly. Oops. Get that feather. We're going to re-wet that little bit down there because it's drying as fast as I'm putting it on the bloody paper. It's so that's why I messed up the background before. It just dried too fast. So I totally ruined the background on the first one. Okay. Then I'm going to take this same blue onto the bottom of this tail. That. There we go. Okay, that's not bad. He's got a little bit of that blue grey around his cheek, just there. A little bit around there. Okay. He looks cute. Okie doke. Now, onto this second one. I think I've made him a little bit too rotund. He's got a little funny bit there, so I need to just remove that bit. And let's take me blue that I had, me very just teeniest touch cobalt blue and tons of water, and the tiniest touch of burnt umber, like a little tiny blib of burnt umber under there. I've got to make his tummy not quite so round, just a tiny fraction, a little bit. Take that around there. Like that. Righto. And add a little bit of that same grey into there, or blue rather. Clean me brush, pick up the excess moisture like that. Alright, now get onto this third little birdie. And exactly the same. Whoops. Add the feather textures onto their little bellies. His tail, his belly disappears off beside that bird. Right, I'll add some purpley colours under their tums. They need shadows because they look a bit weird, a bit unusual without their shadows. They look a bit flat, so I've got to add some purples as well. So I'll mix up a blue and a red, make a very pale purple. So just cad blue, cobalt blue, cad red, just to make a light sort of purple colour. Because for the shadows underneath, just helps to give them, oops, a little bit of perspective. Anywhere that's going to be in shadow, pop that on like that. Purple's my favourite colour. It's gorgeous. It is a wonderful colour and very wonderful for shadows. It's my go-to shadow colour. So anywhere that's going to be completely shadow. No, yeah, I love all purples. Love all purples. And so just even that helps a little bit. I'll just take it a little bit up his chest. There we go, like that. That adds a little bit of, it's actually the colour of my wall. Oh wow, beautiful. Yeah, my eldest daughter absolutely adores purple. She's got all purple things. Purple doona covers, purple cushions, purple clothes. Yeah, I love purples and greens. Purples and greens. Take that up there. All right, they're sort of coming together. They're starting to come together, peeps. I'm feeling a lot happier. Feeling a lot happier about these little guys. Okay, next. I've got to go a darker brown onto their feathers on their backs. So I'm going to grab a bit of burnt sienna. I think it's burnt sienna. Yep, it's burnt sienna. Bit of burnt sienna. It's a little bit stronger than the transparent sienna. And add, whoops, that onto their little faces. That's better. There we go. I'm definitely liking these little birds a whole lot more than the first ones. Alright. And I'll just follow the texture, the direction of their feathers. Like that. And then come around on this one. Brown comes around there a bit more, like that. Onto these wings, and he's also got the dark grey onto the backs of his feathers as well, so I will add that in as well. Down and around, whoops, like that. Leaving little snips of the other colour showing through. Go around the front of that one. Like that. Alright. Then onto this wing. Like that. Righto. They look cute. I'm happy with that. Right. So now I'm going to go with a darker brown, so burnt umber. Woo, that's too much. I just refilled my palette and now I've got way too much paint on there because it's fresh paint and it's gloopy. Got to be a bit careful about that. You don't go sticking your thingy, your brush in your thingy too heavily. Okay, then I come around the end of these. Doesn't matter if it goes into the previous layer of paint a little bit. Woohoo! There we go. Yeah, I stuck me brush in me painting too heavily, but that's okay. We live to tell the tale. Not a problemo. Alright, like that. Oh, they're looking cute. They're getting there. They're getting there. Ta-da! And then go on to my next little birdie. He's got a darker feather about here. So this is Burnt Umber Cobalt Blue. My go-to brownie grey. Down and around there. Like that. Then underneath his feathers, just under there, take that bottom one, like that. Down and around. One sort of comes back. How am I going to do this? Okay, so I'm just going to do the be brave. Just go long one, long stroke, long stroke, long stroke. Trying to keep my brush moving the same sort of motion. Go down straight, down straight. I'm not good at circles and I'm not good at straight lines. Okay, come around here. So he's got darker feathers there and there. Like that. And then we'll take that around here. How am I going to, okay, so that's, he's actually got these feathers come around here a little bit, like that. Like that. Then same, I'm okay at straight lines, but circles are a struggle for everyone. Yeah, oh my gosh. So true. Circles. My circles always end up looking like ovals. And my straight lines, I get the wiggle wobbles. I definitely get the wiggle wobbles. And I never ever use a ruler. Even when I'm doing landscapes or cityscapes or whatever, I don't ever use a ruler, which is my own silliness. I probably need to use a ruler, but I don't. I go rogue. Go completely rogue. I'm just going, nah, it'll be alright. We'll just do it we'll do it this way. We'll just go free pen. Free penning. Free lining. Alright. Oh, they're looking much better. Much better. Muchos better. Pop the details under here. His tail feathers. Same with this little dude. Like that. Alright, now let's have another look. What's next? I've got to add a little bit of blue, or a bit of that purple actually. Got to mix up a little bit more of that purple. So it's cobalt blue, cad red. Nice and simple. Cobalt blue, cad red. And there's only a little bit of blue. The red's quite strong, so it does take over a little bit. But right, now where are you, little birdie? You're this one. So you're going to have little grey feathers, or little purpley coloured feathers here. So I'm just using the very, very finest tip of my brush to get these little details in here, like that. And I can add a few more in and around his neck and his chest. Not everywhere, you don't want it to look too heavy, so just a few here and there, just to sort of just show a little bit of definition on some of the feathers. Probably under his wing areas is the best, because they're in shadow. I've got to put the shadow under there, don't I? I do. So I better do that. Put the shadow back in under there, and a shadow under there. And then I've got to do the shadow on the branch. And oh, actually I've got to do the cheeky bits on this guy. Little cheeky tufts. Like that. Righto. Now, oh, I haven't done their legs. Oops. Mega oops. Actually, and I've got to add a bit of burnt umber too. Bit of burnt umber. Bit of pure burnt umber this time. Just a bit of pure burnt umber. Into the browns on their little faces. Just to give that a little bit of interest. It comes around there. Because it all helps to give them a little bit of depth. And then also onto the ends, not quite there, onto the ends of these wings, feathers, like that. Just adds just a bit more interest. Whoops. Here, burnt umber. Oh, ignore my phone. Alright. I keep forgetting to take it off the hook when I'm streaming. Alright. Take that onto both the wings, down his back. Alright, come down and around there. I can drag that a little bit. I've got to blend that a little bit. Can I blend that? It's going to let me? Yes. Awesome. There we go. Let's take that out there a little bit. Like that. Alrighty. And then same on this little guy. Onto his wings. Right, now I'm going to add a little bit of brown onto their phone calls always happen at the worst times. Oh my god, today I had everything prepared. So I had my washing done early so that the washing machine wasn't going in the background. I had my mobile phone turned off so no one could ring that. So what happens? My house phone rings that I'd forgotten about because I don't ever use it, and the kids came in and turned the washing machine on. And I'm like, yay. There you go. So the best laid plans fall apart. I was so prepared. I was so very prepared. But yeah, didn't happen. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and I'm going to grab my micron pens and I'm going to use a micron 003 around the edges of these eyes. I just want to get these pupils and around the edges of their little eyes, a bit cleaner lines like that. Come in a bit closer. I don't mind using a bit of a micron pen occasionally just to help me, like with little details like the fine lines in their beaks. Best laid plans of mice and men. Oh my god, yeah, it is so true. So true. Oh, you just got to go with the flow, hey. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what? It wasn't meant to go smooth. Roll with it and go, you know what? That's all you can do. I've got to draw their little leggies. I forgot to paint their little feet in, so I better paint their little feet in. And I'm not going to bother with the background. You can hear it's bucketing down rain outside now. It's absolutely pelting. Okay, grab my little brush. Where's my little brush? Here's my little brush. And I'm going to do their little leggies. And these little leggies are a goldy colour. So I'm going to go a little bit of, what is that? That's my, I forgot what that's called. Quinacridone gold. That's the one. A little bit of quinacridone gold on their little feet and their little leggies. It's a gorgeous colour, quinacridone gold. That's my Senelia one. So I'm mixing it up. I've got my Senelias and my Schminkies are my two colours that I'm using today. My Senelias and my Schminkies. But, you know, this was the first picture. Epic fail. Much happier with this one. Just shows you, sometimes you just got to, the best laid plans. You just got to go back and go, you know what? I've learnt from my mistake. I'm going to do it again. And this time it's going to work. Hopefully. Okay, so now I'm going to make up a deeper purple for the shadows. And this time I'm going to use indigo. I'm going to use indigo, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blue. My favourite blue. And cad red. To make a really dark purple for underneath the birds where they're in shadow. Because we want them to have, where they're sitting on their branches, directly beneath them is the darkest shadows. So pop their little shadow in there like that. Just helps to make things come to life a little bit more. So it's just a lot of indigo and a tiny, tiny little blib of red. A little bit, tiny blib of cad red. And take that onto there, drag it around a little bit. Can't even see his little foot that I painted, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Then on this one, around here. Then up there. And that's their little shadows under them, and I'm actually going to put that also onto their bellies a little bit. So I'm going to go a little bit more indigo, a little bit more red, just onto this part. Tiny feet. Oh my God, their feet are so tiny, Lydia. They're teeny, teeny, tiny. I'll tell you a funny story. I had a big open air aviary, so it's a like 12 feet by 12 feet by 12 feet, big square open fly aviary, so the birds could fly. And I had canaries and I had quail in the bottom, and the quail used to pick, you know, the little cleaner uppers. And my quail, they were king quail, so they're tiny. They're the size of your little finger, right? So little tiny birds. And one of the mums decided didn't want to take care of the little bubba. So I took the little baby bird inside and I was hand feeding it, right? So I had to feed this little thing. It was the size of my fingernail. Like the chick was the size of my fingernail. It looked like a little fuzzy banana. It was the cutest little thing. But I tell you what, when it was hungry, it woke up the whole house. It chirped so loud, it woke people up 2 rooms away. It was a teeny tiny bird with a really big foghorn voice. It was hilarious. I was like, how can a pterodactyl noise come out of a little fuzzy wuzzy banana the size of your pinky finger? It was hilarious. But yeah, funny story that, but they are so loud. But a world of cuteness. Oh my God, they were so cute. They were just beautiful little things. And I had to feed him with the teeniest little eye, like a drop. He had a drop off the eyedropper, and that was it. Like, that was enough. Just one drop off the eyedropper. He was so cute. Got to make up for it. So I said, yeah, I tell you what, it had the lungs of an opera singer. Oh, it was hilarious. I got the shock of my life. I reckon I'm pretty happy with this. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Lydia? You reckon I'm done? I reckon I'm happy with that. No, I'm not. I've got to do more around his face. I've got to add a little bit of texture and feathers around here, because their tops of their heads look a bit unfinished. There we go. Just little bits of detail. I do say so. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I like that. There you go. So it shows persevere. If you persevere, I see you over there. Grayscale, hello. How are you, Dale? How's your day? This is my awesome mate, Grayscale Painting, who's an amazing, amazing artist. Anyone in my chat who doesn't know Grayscale, please pop a follow. He is awesome. How's your day been, bud? I've had a morning. I've done 2 paintings today because I made a mess of the first one. You want to see my mess? But made a mess of that one. So I did another one. I'm good. I'm very good, mate. So yeah, just finishing up. I just popped the shadows on. I can't think. Lydia and I reckon we're done. I asked what, because I get to a point where I'm like, am I done or aren't I done? But I think I'm done. So I'm going to try now. I'm going to try and erase this little tail feathery bit. So what are you up to, mate? What are you up to today on this lovely rainy day here in Australia? So I'm going to try and erase some of these little loose lines around the edges. Trying not to smudge my birdies. Just give them a tidy up. So yeah, so stream started and then I made a mess. And then I've done another one. So all's well that ends well, hey? All's well that ends well. We got there in the end. We did. We got there in the end. And I've done my little sparrows, so I'm a happy camper. Just finished a live and posted the painting and made a thumbnail. Oh, awesome! Very good. Very good. Oh my God, I'm having so much trouble with my OBS trying to get. I did a what do you call it? I'll be going live pre-booky thingy, so to let people know, and then it wouldn't go live when I wanted to go live. So I had to do it all again and actually just stop it and then restart it as a live again. I've had a morning. Very, very cool. So grayscale question, you know how on Twitch I can share your art and stuff and I can show people your pictures? Can you do that on here? Like, can you pop links? I don't even know. Yeah, it's been a morning. Can you pop links in like you can on the other streamy things? Because I'm so used to Twitch where you sort of just, you can pop your links in and share them and do stuff. Because I would love to share your work, but I don't know whether that works. Here, you can paste links in chat. Okay, I need to share grayscales then. I'm going to go grab grayscale. Oh, is it all right, before I do that, is it all right if I stick your Instagram up on my doodah? Grayscale. I'll ask your permission first. Grayscale, it's 10:14 here, and you have to be a moderator on here. Oh, okay. How do I do that? I've got to learn all the things. I've only made videos. I think I did 2 live streams like a year ago. And they were, yeah, I really didn't. I probably need to do my research, don't I? Just quietly. You can, it's fine. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to get your link because I want people to check you out because you're an amazing artist. I saw your piece this morning. Hang on. Where's Instagram? Go here. Come on. Come up, Instagram. And then I go, grayscale painting. Where are you? Grayscale. Grayscale. There you are. Top of my list. And then we go copy. You watch me get this wrong. Go that way. Copy. And then go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It won't let me do it. Okay. No. It won't let me stick me doodah in my own chat. No! I don't know how. Oh my God. Hang on. Just bear with me. I'm having a moment. Oh my God. My doodah won't let me do anything. Huh. You can click on a name and it will give you an option and you will see a wrench. Okay. I'll do that then. Let's do that. Click on the name. Oh, none of my doodahs are letting me do anything. That is so weird. Hang on. There we go. I'm adding you as a mod, grayscale. You can stick your own thingy in. There you go. Ta-da! If that's okay. I've known you forever and ever and ever and ever. So I hereby dub thee mod of my channel. Or our mod. You don't have to be here or anything. It's just, yeah. Did that work? I think that worked. Give it a go. Stick your link in. Yeah, Grayscale's one of the first people I met on YouTube about a year ago. Supposed to be about a year ago. Yay! You've got a little blue thing! Awesome! I dub thee. Yes, it worked. Yay! Okay, awesome. World of awesomeness. Now you can pop your link. You can pop your own link in because it won't let me because I'm unusual. It's like, yeah, she's too green. She has no idea what she's doing. So we're not going to let her stick her own thing in her own chat. So you do it. Because I would love everyone to check out your work. Yes, I'm just going to give my palettes a wipe. I don't think I'm going to do a background. I'm a bit scared. So I'm just going to go, because I mucked up the first background so bad. But I could put a blue one, a light blue one. But I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'm going to leave it because I like them. Do I do a background? Anyone? Do I be brave again? Stupid, crazy? I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm going to sign it. I'm just going to sign it and step away from it, I think. I've had one mistake this morning, but not going to choose the dangerous side. Okay. There we go. Everyone, check out Grayscale. Amazing, amazing artist. YouTuber, Instagrammer. Are you a Twitterer? Have you got a Twitter as well? But follow all of Grayscale's things. So I'm just going to sign it here. Yeah, no, you're right, Lydia. I'm not going to go on the wild side. I think I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead. Next time you may want to do the background first. Yeah. Yeah, you know me. I do everything. My world is backwards. I do everything backwards and upside down. I'm consistent. I'm consistently inconsistent. But yeah. Oh well. I probably should. Yeah. You know what though? I've always been a picture first and then backgrounds last, and I've got away with it until today. You do have a Twitter, but you don't use it. Okie doke, fair enough. I've been using my Twitter. I've got a TikTok that I don't ever use. Well, I do use it, but I've been really slack in the last few weeks. My Instagram and my YouTube and my Twitch are the only ones I really focus on. But yes, but anyway, so we are done. So thank you everyone who's been here. Thank you for hanging out. It was awesome to have you here, Grayscale, even just for a little while. I'm sorry you caught me right at the end. But I will go and check out your work for today. Can't wait to see it. Been checking out your work, just been busy. Oh, no, that's all right, Dale. I know, life's crazy. Life is crazy. My baby girl gets married tomorrow, so I better go and do some things. I just needed to be calm and do some art to stay calm. So art calms me down. So I'm happy now. I've done a nice piece. But anyway, thank you so much, Lydia, Grayscale, everyone who's been here this morning. You guys and girls are a world of awesomeness. I will be back on maybe Sunday, but definitely Monday. We'll just have to see what happens this weekend because it's just a world of craziness at the second. So I know my baby's getting married tomorrow. It's like, it's been a week. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been about 6 months. It's been a day. So I will see you all Sunday or Monday. Definitely Monday. Have an awesome weekend, guys. Thank you so much and take it easy. Okie doke. Now I'm going to turn it off successfully like I didn't do the other day. Okay. Press a button. Take it easy, guys.